Hi-Fi Rush. You may have heard it by now. It's amazing. It's pure quality and honestly just raw fun. First off, I wasn't sure what my next video was going to be. I started off this year with my games I'm, kind of hyped for this year type of video. And then I did the video where I covered the first episode of Nier Automata. And while I have videos kind of planned out for the rest of the year, I just really didn't know what I was going to be doing next. And by the way, my videos that I kind of planned for the rest of the year are just right in the planning stage. There's it's just like idea. Like I have this idea, I have that idea, but I haven't gone anywhere past that. When I played Hi-Fi Rush, I was like, this is my next video. I wanted to get a full video on this game done for this week. I was hoping to maybe get something out quick before Friday, but honestly, the more I play this game, the more there is I want to say. I just knew I wasn't going to get a video that I was going to be entirely happy with, in a matter of less than a week. So this is going to be a little bit of a two-part video situation. Basically, what you're watching here is just kind of some surface, level information on the game and a little bit of what I've experienced in the, 5 or 6 hours that I've played so far. And then sometime in the coming weeks, maybe sometime here within February, I will be putting out a longer video covering the game a little more in depth. Basically, I don't necessarily want to make a two-parter type of thing, but for one thing, I wanted to get a video out this week while the game is still like fresh. I don't even think it's been out for a whole week actually. Almost a week. Actually, no, yeah, it came out. I have the date right here, January 25th. January 25th. It has been 6 days since the game came out. So I just wanted to get a video out that's like, while the game is still fresh. I didn't want to put out a video a month later. And so just figured I'll just kind of start this off, make y'all aware of it, and then once I can have more time to, make up a longer form factor video, I will have that out there. So let's talk about Hi-Fi Rush for a little bit. Hi-Fi Rush, as I said, released on January 12th, 2023. It's coming from Bethesda and Tango Gameworks. Tango are the people that made The Evil Within, and of course the sequel, The Evil Within 2. That is not a joke. These two games were made by the same developer. The game was released only a couple hours, get this, only a couple hours after its first reveal. Microsoft had this developer direct, and they skipped the entire marketing. Basically, they just shadow dropped this out of nowhere. They skipped the reveal to release process entirely. It was never ever leaked. We didn't know that a new game was coming out from Bethesda or Tango, Microsoft. There was never any mention of this at all. We didn't know that Tango was making this game. It was never told, not to my knowledge, not that I've seen anywhere on the internet, that this game was coming. Basically, they skipped the entire publicity cycle of, reveal, different trailers that are coming out, like a gameplay trailer, a mechanic, all that kind of stuff, like a story trailer, all that stuff. They skipped it. So basically, people who played this right after it, launched, they were playing at the same time as people who might have normally played it beforehand, like people, say YouTubers that got review copies, or critics who were able to say their thoughts on the games before it even came out. Big game companies spend all kinds of money on their marketing campaigns to try to create crazy hype for a game. They get YouTubers to play it, they get critics to come in and give their thoughts before the game is out, all that kind of stuff. So you usually kind of already know what to think of a game before it's even out. You kind of already have an idea of whether you're going to like it or not. This strategy of dropping the game only mere hours after they told everybody about it really makes this a huge standout title already for this year. And we're only a month into the year. The game's on Xbox Game Pass. If you have that, I definitely recommend checking it out. But it's also $30 full price on Xbox and Steam if you just want to buy the game like I did. Alright, so Hi-Fi Rush. The best way to explain it, or at least that I can think of, is it's a rhythm action game. Basically, you fight through enemies with your different attacks, combos, and special moves. They're all both really fun to pull off and super flashy. Basically, the way I'd kind of put this is it's kind of like a mix of like Jet Set Radio meets Devil May Cry. But they had, rhythm game mechanics mixed into the fighting mechanics with the combos and everything. And I know there are many others that are saying, oh, it's Jet Set Radio and Devil May Cry, but it literally does actually feel like that, but it's 100% its own thing. It takes inspiration from various different games, but it feels so original despite that. Basically, if Unbeatable, which is a game that hasn't come out yet, by the way, I think you should go check it out. It's a pretty fun rhythm game. Also, by the way, there's a full demo on Steam of it you can play, and it's actually really fun as a standalone game. I seriously recommend you go try it out. It's called Unbeatable White Label. Thank you. Basically, if that game, Unbeatable, and Devil May Cry had a child, it would be Hi-Fi Rush. If you tack on the beat, you can gain bonuses like more damage done, better combos, being able to link better combos together, stuff like that. There's also companions you can summon in to do attacks and interact with the environment. Speaking of the environment, everything moves to the beat of the music. Everything. The world around you is in sync with the beat. From basic set pieces like different machinery and lights and all that kind of stuff, to the enemies, basically their attacks usually will land on the beat. They will move around on the beat, stuff like that. They will counter, like everything is synced to the beat of the music that is playing, and it's so cool. It's so cool to see played out in the gameplay. So this game has a story. It's not just going in and fighting and doing all that. It does have a story with, in my opinion, a pretty good cast of characters. Your main guy here is Chai, and he mistakenly had a music player ingrained into his body. Basically, Chai was supposed to get these robot enhancements, basically a nice robot arm, and mistakenly, during that process, the music player gets thrown down on top of him, and the machine comes down, and now there's a music player ingrained to his body. It's basically become the power source for his arm, and that is basically what allows him to, the world around him, in his vision, everything is synced to the beat that he can feel through the music player. He's the only person that can really sense this. So now he's been considered a defect by the very company that gave him these enhancements, Vandelay Technologies. And right there is where the story begins. I'd go into more on the story, but I want to save that for the longer second part that I'll be getting out in coming weeks. As you'll see in my next video, and even in this one with the clips that I am showing, this game is full of style and just so creative. It isn't often that a game like this comes from a big name like Bethesda. Tango Gameworks should be incredibly proud of the product they delivered here. And just coming from Microsoft and Bethesda, and the fact that they just like didn't announce this is super cool. And I just love that, Bethesda's kind of been like, they've allowed Tango to come, and Microsoft as well has allowed Tango to develop this game that they seem very passionate about. I mean, this game feels like a lot of effort has gone into it. There's voice acting throughout, even for like NPC type characters. Everything is voice acted. When a character speaks, they have a voice, which is not something that you'd really expect from a smaller game like this. It's just not often that you see bigger developers, these bigger companies like Bethesda or like EA or anybody else really. You just don't see those companies coming out and taking and making something that's so fresh and even kind of niche. This game has had me smiling the biggest grin through every step of it, and I'm finding myself, I'm tapping my foot with the beat. Listen, man, I used to be a drummer. I don't do it so much anymore, but I played like a lot of snare drum and a lot of different like instruments that are within the percussion family. And so like naturally I vibe with music. I love finding the beat in music, and but like while I'm playing this, I'm tapping my foot with the beat, I'm humming. Sometimes I'm just sitting here like kind of like with my the head bobbing. Man, it's so much fun, dude. I can't even make this up. It's just a genuinely fun game to play. Like, listen, this video, by the way, I have a script for this video. I wrote out my script. I'm reading my script during this. I'll 100% be honest. I'm looking at my screen reading the script. You probably could have told from seeing the reflection of my glasses. But like, this right here that I'm saying right now, obviously it's scripted, and like I've been following the script for my basic ideas, but most of the stuff that I said about like me being a percussionist and me just being absolutely having so much fun with this game and everything, it's like I'm not following the script one-to-one. It's so much fun that like I can sit here and tell you that it's fun and it's just so creative and so, but you honestly, man, you gotta play it for yourself to really get this game, man. Even if you're not huge on rhythm games, even if you're just more of an action type game person, or even if you're just more into someone who plays games that's, you know, fairly casual, like this game is very accessible in that, like, yeah, sure, if you hit on the beat, you're gonna do better, but you don't have to hit exactly on the beat. The game kind of like, no matter when you press do your button presses, do your inputs, it will match up your attacks with the beat. It's just that you're not going to get the extra bonuses for being right on the beat, if you get what I'm saying. So you can play this as kind of like a button masher, but the way it's meant to be played is that you're pulling out combos that are more thought out. You know, you're really thinking about what you're pressing, what buttons you're pressing, when you're pressing them, and it's just, it doesn't feel like a button masher. Okay, so now that I went off my little tangent here that's not scripted, let me get back on script. But anyways, once I complete the game, I seriously look forward to talking about it more in depth. I believe I'm only about halfway through from what I've heard, and I'm sure I'll touch on this in the full video once I've completed the game, but from what I've heard, it's about a 10 to 12 hour experience for just the story. So I've played about 6 hours, about halfway through. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Even though I'm like, obviously I'm still recording right now when I say this, I haven't even done the editing process, so we'll see. But this has been a seriously fun video. Man, I've had so much fun recording in this little recording session for the video. And wow, it's been fun to talk about and just to be really excited about a game like this much in quite a bit. You know, at first I wasn't really sure how a multi-part coverage of a game will go in the long run, but I decided to go ahead and take this approach, like I said earlier, just to test the waters, see how it does, see if anybody would like that, and see how it's going to go for me in the actual process of making them. Anyways, we shall see. Stay tuned for the next video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and even turn on the notifications with the bell icon, and so you know when I upload the next video on this game and when I upload future videos. Once again, go check out Hi-Fi Rush for yourself if you've got Game Pass. It is such a fun ride. And even if you don't have Game Pass, I'm going to be honest, even just from the 6 hours, almost 7 hours I've played, I gotta say, I think it's well worth the $30. Like I said earlier, if you like action games or even like remotely like rhythm games or music-based games, I think you're going to have a blast with it, to be honest. But anyways, that is all for now. Everybody take care. Jesh out.